What is the heart? Cardiovascular system. Do you know the anatomy and the function of the heart? Stay tuned and keep watching this video. Hi everyone, this is boy Lil Z and welcome to another video about anatomy and physiology. But before anything else, if this is the first time you're watching my video, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to support my channel. Also give a like, comment, and share this video to everyone at home. And in this video, I want to share with you 5 main points about the anatomy of your cardiovascular system. Number 1, the heart. As we all know, when we are talking about the cardiovascular system, we're talking all about the heart. The heart is a cone-shaped, fist-sized structure that functions to pump blood and to maintain pressure that rests on diaphragm and the mediastinum, slightly to the left. It has an apex that is located anteriorly, inferiorly, and to the left, and also a base that is located posteriorly, superiorly, and to the right. The heart has 3 surfaces: your anterior, posterior, and inferior. First is your anterior, or what we call as the sternocostal, which is where you can find the right atrium and ventricle, with the right ventricle being the anterior most. Next is the posterior surface, or what we call as the base, which consists of your right and left atrium, with your left atrium being the posterior most part. And lastly is your inferior surface, or what we call as the apex, which consists of your right and left ventricles, with your left ventricle being the inferior most. Number 2, the coverings of the heart. As we all know, different organs has its own coverings, and in the heart we also have coverings. First is your pericardium, which consists of 2 types. First is the fibrous, which is the outer layer of pericardium that is pure fiber and flat and that resists tension on the heart. And second is the serous pericardium, which is the layer that protects the heart from infection and has 2 sublayers: the parietal, which is the outermost and that is fused with the fibrous pericardium, and the visceral that is also called as epicardium. And in between the parietal and the visceral serous pericardium, we have what we call as the pericardial cavity, consisting of your pericardial fluid. This fluid prevents the friction of these 2 layers. Thus, an excessive increase or an excessive decrease of this pericardial fluid may lead to a serious heart pathology. Number 3, the heart chambers. In the heart, we have 4 chambers, and it's divided into 2, the atrium and the ventricles. These chambers is where the blood passes through. First is the atrium, or what we call as the receiving chamber. It is divided into 2, the left and the right atrium, by a septum called atrial septum. The atrium composes of muscle called the pectinate muscle, which is a rough muscle that helps the atrium in pumping and moving the blood to the ventricles. And second is the ventricles, or what we call as the pumping chambers. It is also divided into 2, the right and left, which serves as chambers to pump blood away from the heart. The right ventricle, which is the pulmonic pumper, and the left, which is the systemic pumper. The ventricles consist of papillary muscles, which is a cone-shaped muscle that connects the ventricle to the valves. Trabeculae carneae, which is a ridge-like structure, and chordae tendineae, which is a cord-like structure responsible in the contraction of the ventricles. Number 4 is the heart valves and sounds. Heart valves are the structure that separates the atrium from the ventricles and that serves as gate to prevent backflow of the blood, while the heart sounds are the sound indicating the opening and the closing of the valves. For the heart valves, we have 2 types: the inlet, or what we call as the atrioventricular valves, and the outlet, or what we call as the semilunar valves. First, for the AV valve. AV valve separates the atrium and ventricle. For the right atrium and ventricle, it is separated by tricuspid valve. From the name itself, tri means 3 and cusp, which means it has 3 cusps. And the left atrium and ventricle is separated by a mitral valve, or what we call as the bicuspid valve, which has 2 cusps. Next is the semilunar valve, which is also called as the outlet valve. It is the gateway of the blood before going outside the heart, and it prevents backflow of blood to the ventricles. It consists of 2 valves, the pulmonary or pulmonic valve and the aortic valve. Pulmonic valve is the gateway of blood before entering the lungs, and the aortic valve is the gateway of blood before it is spread to the entire body. For the heart sounds, we have two types of sounds, the audible and the inaudible sounds. First, for the audible heart sounds, which can be heard with human ears and with the help of stethoscope. It is divided into two sounds, the lob, which is the first heart sound that signals the AV valve's closure, which means the blood is now at the two ventricles. And the second sound of the audible heart sound is the dub, which indicates the closure of the semilunar valves, which means that the blood is now away from the heart. The next type of heart sound is the inaudible, which means that these heart sounds can only be heard through phonocardiogram, which is an exclusive technology to detect inaudible heart sounds or heart murmurs. In here we have two. First is the sound of the ventricular refilling, and the second is the sound of rapid filling of the atrium. But again, these sounds are inaudible, which means that if it can be heard through stethoscope or through human ears, it may indicate serious heart pathology. And number 5, heart conduction system and the blood supply. Conducting system is like a series of electrical circuit that works together in order for the organ to function. For the heart, we have 4 systems. First is the sinoatrial node, or also known as the sinus node, which is the primary pacemaker of the heart that is located at the right atrium, specifically the superior septal wall immediately below and slightly lateral to the opening of superior vena cava. Second is the atrioventricular node, or the junctional node, which is located behind the tricuspid valve. Third is the bundle of His, which regulates the heartbeat and is located in the interventricular septum. And fourth is the Purkinje fibers that surrounds the heart and is known as the largest pacemaker. And for the blood supply of the heart, it's generally supplied by the coronary arteries, the right and the left. The right coronary artery supplies the right atrium and ventricle, SA node, and some of the left ventricle. And the left coronary artery supplies the left atrium and ventricle. That's it. I hope you've learned a lot from this video about the heart. Again, if this is the first time you're watching my video, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to support my channel. Also give a like, comment, and share this video to everyone at home. So God bless you all. See you soon in my upcoming videos. This is boy Lil Z. Peace out.
Run.